Hey, what is up everyone? Hope you're all having a wonderful time. Here we have a quick guide on the Smite Hammerdin Paladin in last Epoch. The Smite Hammerdin Paladin is one of the most strongest builds that you can play in last Epoch. And this build used the hammer throw skill combined with 4 idols that have a chance to cast Smite on hit with throwing attacks. And the main damage is going to be from the Smite skill, so this means that we are scaling spell damage instead of actual throw damage. And the hammers are basically just there to prop the Smite skill. The Paladin class is a great choice for this setup. We gain tons of buffs for both defense and offense by different skills that we get by being the Paladin. And these buffs also helps your allies, so this makes it also a very great support class for any party play. And this build is also very tanky overall, with a lot of health and also with a huge amount of life regen. And lastly, we get 100% chance to block with the Bastion of Honor shield. The Smite Hammerdin Paladin is one of those builds that can pretty much stand in whatever they like without dying. For the pros, the build got some great single target and also the clear speed is really good. It's a very tanky build overall. It's good for both softcore and also hardcore play. It can also be played as a supporter build, and it's also viable to do all content in last Epoch. For the cons, you need to have the idols for this build to work. I would recommend not starting without at least 2 of them, but be ready that it can take you some time to farm them, because they are quite rare to obtain. And it's also not a really beginner friendly build, mostly because you need to farm quite a lot before you can start playing the build. For the uniques, we got the Devotion Amulet, and this gives us great stats for both defense and damage. We have some endurance, healing effectiveness, lightning damage and also lightning penetration. We also gain +1 spell damage with Smite per 5 missing mana, so more mana equals more damage. You can farm this at the Age of Winter timeline from unique or set amulet echo rewards. Bastion of Honor is another unique that we are using for this build, and this is probably the most used shield for any build not using a two-hander. And this shield gives us the unique modifier 100% block chance against enemies within 4 meters. And this is huge for this build because we are most of the time just standing on top of bosses where we are throwing out our hammers. And on top of this, it also has a huge block effectiveness as a base, health gain on block, some health and also some mana. And you can farm this at the Black Sun timeline from the unique or set shield echo rewards. Do keep in mind that this is a very rare drop. And a quick note here as well is that it's absolutely fine to play this build without the shield. Try just to get a basic high block chance shield instead. For the stats, try to get health, resist for your cap, vitality, increased throwing attack speed, -2 throwing mana cost. And a quick note here is that you might only need this on one of your rings depending on how high tier you have, or if you might have some money regen on your gear. Basically here you want to be able to cast your hammers without going minus on your mana. We also want to go for critical strike multiplier, increased lightning, spell and elemental damage. And for the class specific stats, try to go for increased shred armor effect for your helm and chest, and also +2 level of smite on your relic. For the idols, you want to get 4 Adorn idols with the chance to cast Smite on hit with throwing attacks, and also, if possible, chance to shred armor on throwing hits. And these idols, as I mentioned before, are build enabling, and I would recommend you to get at least 2 of them before you start this build. They can start by drop at level 20, so be sure that you have them on your loot filter. Easiest to get them will be to go for the idol echoes within your monoliths. And some of the more noticeable blessings is going to be critical strike multiplier for damage, or you can go for spell damage list as life for more defense. And this can be found at the Black Sun timeline. At the ending the Storm timeline you can also get chance to shred lightning resist on hit. And at the Age of Winter timeline you can also get a huge boost to the block effectiveness. And let's go over quickly the most important notes for the skills, starting with Hammer Throw. So as I mentioned before, this is mainly used to proc our Smite skill. We're using Catapult for extra projectiles, Ballista for the reduced mana cost, Rapid Throw so we get increased attack speed for our hammers, Iron Spiral will make so our hammers now travel in a spiral around us, and lastly Hammer Vortex will do so the spiraling hammers now orbit around you, so this means that they are actually following us once we are moving. And next up is going to be Smite, which is our main damage for this build. So smites a target enemy with a bolt of holy fire that descends from the sky. We're using Order of Lagon to convert the fire damage to lightning damage. We're using Conviction so we get a higher base crit for the smite, and also Sacrifice for the huge damage multiplier it provides. We're using Javelin to get some crazy health regions, and it will also trigger the smite skill around the Javelin. Battle Standard will make it so we get some increased buffs for our character, both increasing the damage and also endurance threshold based on our attunement. Banner of Restoration provides us with a flat 100 health per second once we are standing close to the Javelin. Divine Intervention makes it so we now cast Smite near the Javelin, and Righteous Descendant just to improve the smite frequency and also the smite base crit chance. Holy Aura provides both us and nearby allies passively with 30% increased damage and also 15% increased elemental resistance, and some other perks from the actual skill tree. Shelter from the Storm for some elemental resist and endurance. We went with Extreme Seal for the critical multiplier. Purification for poison resist and also so we cleanse elements, and also Hope. There is a chance that will spawn a health globe, healing for some extra health. We're using Sigils of Hope to boost both damage and defense. Last Wish makes it so we have a chance to summon a shield when we kill an enemy for quality of life. Tetragram will give us maximum sigil +1, and Meditation makes it so sigils now only affect us, with the Sign of the Guardian providing us with extra block chance and also block effectiveness. And lastly, we're using Fate for some extra defensive layer. This makes so when we take a hit that deals more than 25% of our health, a sigil is consumed and will heal us for 200 health. And here a quick preview of the passive skill tree, but for more information about the build I do recommend to go and check out the last Epoch build planner, and here you can also find a basic loot filter on the build that highlights all you need to get for both leveling and also for the endgame. Link for this will be in the description. If you're interested in starting the Paladin right now, but you're missing the idols, I made another version of the Hammerdin that's very beginner friendly. You don't need any uniques or idols to get started, and it's also very easy to transition into the Smite version once you are ready. So what do you think about the Smite Hammerdin Paladin build? Have you tried it out before maybe, or tried another version of it? Feel free to tell me in the comments below. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!